Today I'm going to show you how do I use nesting repeaters in word layout in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2015. At the end, you will have learned how to add a repeating control to an existing word layout, for example to display document comments from headers and lines. To get there, I will add a new data item to the report dataset of the mini sales invoice report. Then I will export the word layout, design it in developer mode. Next, I will add a table in the word layout to display the comments, and finally I will include a nested repeater in the table to display all comments. Let's get started. So in the first step, I'm going to add the sales command line table into the datasets report right after the lines, on the same level as the lines. Then we are going to filter the data item on the document type of the posted invoices. Then I will link this to the header via the document number, so we will get all of the comments from the header and the lines in the dataset of this command line data item. We are also going to include the actual comments, the comments and the dates, and also the labels of the two fields. Now I am going to export the word layout. I'm going to save it on my desktop so we can edit it afterwards. In the next step, we are going to open the word layouts that we exported on the desktop. I'm going to scroll down until we see the actual lines table and the totals. Then in between the two, I'm now going to insert a new table. And if I'm going to insert a new table, I'm going to use 2 rows and 2 columns. One row for the header, the labels, and one row for the repeating information, the comment lines. In step 4, we are going to add a nested repeater. To do this, I will go first into the Developer tab to open the XML mapping pane. There I will select the dataset of this report. And I'm going to scroll down until we see all of the sales lines comment data item. So the first thing to do is to add the labels using plain text controls. Let's do this for 2 fields and then add them into the header row, like this. After that, I'm going to need to repeat the actual comments. To do that, I will insert a repeater from the sales command line data item by first selecting the complete first row in the table and then inserting a repeating control. Then I will now add the 2 fields themselves by using a plain text control for both of the fields, as I'm doing right here for both of the fields. I'm also going to then resize the columns a little bit so we can have some more room for the actual comments and a little bit less room for the dates. Next, I will go into the table design menu to select a specific design template for my table. So that's it. Once we have selected the design template, I will now close the word layout. I'm going to also save it, of course. Then I'm going to go back into the development environment and I'm going to import the word layout we have just created. Once the word layout is imported, I'm going to save and run the report. When we run the report, as you can see at runtime, we now have our nested comments after the lines. The first 2 comments here are for the header data item. And then the other comments are actually the comments from the different lines, in this case assembling furniture. The first lines 25 quantity and the second line for the 120 quantity. So that's it, we have now added actually our comments into the report. To wrap it up, these were the steps that I followed. First, I added a new data item to the report dataset of the mini sales invoice. Then I exported the word layout, designed it in the developer mode. Next, I added a table in the word layout to display the comments. And finally, I included a nested repeater in the table to display all of the comments. With these 4 steps, I covered how to add comments to the datasets and how to add the nested comments repeater into the word layout of the reports. To learn more about designing Word report layouts, visit the following resources. What's new with content controls in Word 2013 and what's new in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2015. Thanks for following this short video to explain how to use nesting repeaters in word layout in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2015. This video in the How Do I series for Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2015 is brought to you by Microsoft and Platan. See you in another one.